Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Shivan, and if you're new here, I'm a doctor in the UK and I make YouTube videos about medical school, lifestyle and university. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to plan the perfect medical elective. Your elective is probably going to be one of your best experiences in medical school, and if you do it right, it could be one of the best experiences of your life. You get the chance to travel, you get the chance to explore maybe a subject that you're interested in, you get the chance to experience a completely different healthcare system, meet loads of new people, and to make some great friends along the way as well. And like any good holiday or educational experience, an elective requires a great degree of planning and organization to help ensure that you have the best experience possible. Today, that's exactly what I'm going to help you with. We're going to figure out all the logistics of planning the perfect elective and how to ensure that you have the best possible experience in your medical elective as well. If you haven't already checked out my YouTube channel, go check it out. If you think it's something that you'd be interested in, something you'd be into, and my videos are something that you'd enjoy, then definitely consider smashing that subscribe button and joining me for a lot more such videos in the future. So firstly, let me tell you a bit about my medical elective, and in case that's something that interests you, I can help you plan that as well. So me personally, I split my elective into two separate parts, 3 weeks each. The first 3 weeks of my elective was spent in India, my home country. I did this elective in a major hospital in the city of Bangalore in the subject or specialty of cardiology. So I spent 3 weeks in cardiology, interventional cardiology, the cardiac sort of ICU, and learning a bit more about the subject. Then I spent the next 3 weeks of my elective in a completely new country that I had never been to before, and that was Vietnam. My elective in Vietnam was one of the best experiences of my life. I did it in radiology and oncology, and I spent those 3 weeks in the city of Hue in Vietnam, but I also explored the rest of the country as well. I can definitely say to you that my medical elective was my best experience in medical school and something I won't forget for the rest of my life. Right, so now there are some important considerations before you start planning your medical elective, because you need to decide what's important to you. You need to make a couple of important decisions. Firstly, regarding the location. Now, where do you want to do your elective? Do you want to do it in a new country? Do you want to do it in a different part of your own country? If you're doing it in a different country, do you want a cheap solo traveler kind of experience? Do you want a rural, underprivileged area which feels like almost a volunteering kind of experience? Or do you want to go to a really advanced country which has a very advanced healthcare system and you want to learn some high-tech things? So firstly, the cheap solo traveler experience may take you to a place like Vietnam, the Philippines, Nepal, Sri Lanka, something like that. If you're going for something rural, underprivileged, you can visit one of the countries that I just mentioned, or you can also go to a country in maybe East Africa or West Africa. You can go to South America. I know some people who did their elective in Bolivia. And if you're looking for a more advanced sort of healthcare system, in a more developed country, maybe you want to go somewhere like the US, Canada, somewhere in Europe, or maybe even something like Japan. After location, you need to decide specialty. Now, your specialty is very important because you're going to spend 3 weeks doing that. And if you know something that you're already interested in, then it's very helpful to sort of do your elective in that. So firstly, the first option with specialty is choosing something that you're really passionate about, a specialty that you would consider doing in the future. If you don't know what you want to do, you could even choose a specialty that you're looking to explore, something that you're not sure about that you want a bit more experience in. Or if you have no idea whatsoever, you can choose something very general, like for example, family medicine, or doing placements in A&E or in the emergency department, or doing something like internal medicine. Doing placements in these will help you no matter what you do in the future. And then also you want to decide if you want to do one elective or do you want to do 2 electives, because at least at my university they allowed us to do 2 separate electives, a minimum of 3 weeks each. Now the next step is deciding what type of elective you want to do. So there are 3 separate types. The first could be a self-organized elective. That means you're emailing the hospital yourself, you're sort of organizing it personally with them, maybe reaching out to a supervisor and setting the whole thing up for yourself. Now, from my personal experience, I would probably only recommend this, one, if you're going somewhere that's home to you, or two, you're going with your friends or with other people. Otherwise, you can end up in an experience that's quite isolating because you might be on your own in a hospital with no other students in a completely new country. I mean, if that's something that excites you, you can absolutely do that. But personally, that wouldn't be the preference for me. I did do my elective in India on my own, but that's because that's where I'm from and my family was there, so it wasn't exactly lonely. It's also a good option if you have a really specific destination in mind and you can't find any organized programs related to that destination. Your second option is going with an elective organization or an elective company. So that's what I did in Vietnam. I went with a company called Work the World, and my experience was amazing. There are a few other elective companies, like I think there's one called Roar, but if you look it up online, there are a few other elective companies that offer organized electives. And that's really great because they plan everything out for you, from contacting the hospitals, doing the sort of organization with them, and organizing your accommodation, your food, everything like that. So it's a pretty seamless and smooth experience. The only downside of this is that it can be more expensive, but also it gives you the opportunity to meet loads of new people, because most likely there are going to be other people doing this as well, so you're going to meet them there and you're going to make good friends. That's what happened for me. I met some really great people on my elective in Vietnam, and I wouldn't have done that or wouldn't have met them if it wasn't for going on this organized elective with Work the World. And your last option is doing a university partner program or a university associated elective. So for example, I went to King's College London and they had partner programs with different universities around the world to do an elective in. For example, they had a partner program with Johns Hopkins in the US, they had a partner program with a university in Hong Kong, and many more. So a few people did this because they were really sort of keen to go to that particular university, or they were really keen to have it organized for them by the university. It's a great option, but the only thing I can say is that it might be a little more academics heavy and it might be a little more strict and may not give you that sort of flexibility that one would enjoy in an elective. But otherwise, again, it's a great option. Like for example, if you were really passionate about going to a particular university like Johns Hopkins, university partner programs can offer a lot. So that's how to organize your elective. Now, tips in terms of having the best experience possible, I have a few. Firstly, now obviously you need to attend your placements, and you need to make sure you communicate well with your supervisor or whoever's organizing the placements for you, to ensure they know what you want to get out of it and that you're actually enjoying your experience. This is an experience that's tailored to you, so if it's not working well, then it's best to let whoever's organizing it know, because maybe they can adjust it so that it's better for you, because an elective is a tailored experience at the end of the day. My second tip would be to travel on the weekends as well as before or after your trip, especially if you're going to a new country, of course, because this is your one chance to be in a completely new country for a prolonged period of time, for weeks. So it really gives you the chance to explore that country inside out. And if you take advantage of the weekends, you may be able to see a lot of new and amazing places. So I went almost every weekend while I was in Vietnam to a different place. And right before, I did also travel around Vietnam for a week. So that was some of the best things I did on my elective. It was traveling in addition to the hospital placements, but traveling was absolutely amazing, exploring Vietnamese culture and things like that. Then I'd say make friends with locals. So whether that's local doctors, local people around your accommodation, just places that you're visiting, maybe cafes, things like that. Make some friends, get to know people, because you're really getting ingrained into the society, into the community by staying there for a period of weeks. And the best way to understand the locals and the local culture is through a local. And lastly, I'd say make good connections with the doctors, because especially if this is a specialty that you'd be interested in, you can definitely sort of benefit from making a good connection with the doctor you're with, in terms of career advice, in terms of future opportunities, things like that. And then also, if you ever want to come back here again, having a good connection with the doctors makes a big difference. The last thing I'll say is, if you're a student in the UK, look into elective bursaries. I believe the NHS bursaries offer some sort of compensation for your elective. I think it was around £80 a day. Look, I was an international student, so I wasn't eligible for it, but I know it helped many people in sort of financing their elective, because an elective, although it's so amazing, it can be very expensive. So definitely look into the NHS bursaries for your elective and take that help to ensure you have the best experience possible. So that was my 2 cents on how to plan an elective, a medical elective, and to have this amazing experience as part of your med school journey. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it gave you a good insight into planning your medical elective. And if it did, definitely drop a like down below on this video. Smash that subscribe button. Ask me any questions down in the comment section below. And with that, I will see you in the next one.